Hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing good. I'm back on the channel for a quick tutorial on how to do this little slideshow you just saw in the preview. So if you liked it, just tag along, grab your pictures, and I'm gonna show you how to do it completely for free inside Premiere Pro. Okay, so I'll show you how to create a quick and easy slideshow for your pictures here. You could always use motion graphic, but if you don't have access to one or if you don't want to pay for one, this is a quick and easy way to make a nice slideshow for your pictures. So first here, we're gonna open a new sequence. So go to new item, sequence. I just usually go with 1080p HD pictures. Those are pictures from my phone. So my phone only takes pictures maybe for 1080p. So I'm gonna name this awesome slideshow. But if your phone or your camera or whatever takes picture at 4K, feel free to take a 4K sequence setting. So what I'm gonna do here is take my images here. I have a bunch of images of my dog. I'm gonna take a few here. Here. I'm gonna drag them into the sequence. Zoom in a little bit. There's maybe a bit too many. I don't want that many. I'll just use maybe 5. So there you go. I don't want this one. I'll delete it. I'll delete this one. I like this one. So there you go. I'm gonna keep all those pictures and maybe shuffle them around. So I'll start when he's really young, a bit older, teenager, and he's an adult. But yeah, I like this order. So make sure you have all your pictures ordered. Take all your pictures this is the time and take the time to order them in the way you want. So second here, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna duplicate all those pictures here. I'm gonna duplicate, so I'll hold the Option key on your keyboard and then duplicate them. So you have 2 layers. One of them is going to be used as a background layer, you'll see, and then the other one is just going to be the pictures. So make sure your pictures here, especially the front layer, when you right click on them, make sure it says scale to frame size. So make sure they're all scaled in, and in this scenario, because the pictures were taken vertically, there will be some black bars, but otherwise they should take the full length or the full size of the frame. So I have my pictures here. I'm now gonna lock the first section here, or I'm gonna rather hide it. So I'm gonna hide it. So now I'm seeing the second section. I can even lock it. And then for the second section, I want to scale it fully. So I'm gonna take, for example, the first little picture here. I'm gonna go to scale. I'm just gonna scale it until it covers the whole frame. So 236, ooh, I think there's a little red bar here. 236, 238 seems good. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna copy actually the motion function here. I'm gonna copy it to all of the other images. So I Control C and I'm Control V-ing here. So you'll see all the images here are fully scaled in. It's all right if they're not really centered, and that's because we're gonna also apply a blur, so it doesn't really matter. It's just as a nice background image here. So we're gonna apply the blur right now. I'm gonna go into my effects here. I'm gonna type Gaussian blur here. I'm gonna apply it to this first image here. So for Gaussian blur, I usually go for around 75 to 100. Let's try 75. I like it. I think it's not too much. And make sure you also have click on repeat edge pixels here, otherwise it's going to be like a black contour over it. So make sure you click here, and then we can take the Gaussian blur, Control C, and apply it to the other images here, Control V. So if I scrub the playhead along here, we're going to see all the images here are blurred. So this is what we want. Great. And now we can unlock the first layer and make it visible again. So now we have all of our images here, and we're gonna apply a bunch of effects to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm mostly gonna apply to the first image here, and I'm gonna copy and paste it to all of the other images here. So the first effect I want to apply to the picture is actually not in the effects section, it's simply in the motion. So I'm going to scale the image back. I usually start with about 70%, so let's do 70%. This is a pretty good size image, and we're going to try to make it grow as the video advances. So we're start with 70. We can click on toggle animation, so it's going to add a keyframe at the beginning, and then move the playhead along. Let's do 80%. Let's do 80. Gonna grow. So you're going to want to take the last keyframe here and move it all the way to the right here. And this one, make sure this one's all the way to the left as well. And you're gonna want to take the keyframe here, click ease in, and take the first one and right click, ease out. So if I quickly play here, you're gonna see it's slowly growing over the length of the photo here. And we're gonna do the same. I'm gonna take the motion effect here, copy it to all of the other images here, so Control V. And as you'll see, it does the same for all of the other images here. Great. So now an effect I want to add is actually radial shadow. So it's right here. I'm going to take it, grab it here onto the first image. As you see here on the project window, it adds like a kind of a shadow, and we're going to use it to make it look like a frame of some sort of Polaroid or anything similar to that. So what we're going to do is actually turn up the opacity up to 100. We're going to make it white, like that. The light source, I want it to come from the middle, so the white bars will be the same size. So I usually set it to 1500, like that. It strikes right in the middle. And I'm gonna change that as well here in a second, but the projecting distance, I'm gonna set it to 12. We're gonna click also resize layer here. It adds the borders also on the bottom and top of the picture. So here, I usually set it to 850 on that, and it makes for like a Polaroid look to the image. So I'm gonna take radial shadow here, and I'm gonna, you guessed it, Control C, and apply it to all of the other images here, so Control V. So all the other images here should have the same effect. Perfect. Come back to the first image again, and I'm gonna apply an effect called drop shadow. So this is just to make it look like it's actually floating. So it's not going to be anything crazy, something more subtle, but it's good to have. Here you can play with the thing as much as you want. I usually like to set the direction to 180 degrees. There you go. The distance can be a bit more like that. The softness, I like to set it to a lot. Maybe let's do 200. And the opacity, I can increase it a bit to, let's do 80%. So if I turn this off, you can see the difference here. So it adds a nice little shadow here. I'm gonna take drop shadow again and copy it to the other images. So as you can see, it has a shadow, nice shadow. There we go. We're gonna apply actually one last effect to the foreground image here, and it's called Basic 3D. So I'll go to Basic 3D, apply it here, and when you go to Basic 3D, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually make the image swivel and tilt. We're gonna take swivel, I'm gonna set it to -3, and tilt, I'm gonna set it to 3. And what we're gonna do here is set some keyframes as well. So set some keyframes and we're gonna swap them. So let's do 3 here and -3. Oops. Not -1, -3. There you go. Gonna take those and I'm gonna drag them all the way to the right to the end of the video. Oh, it looks like I forgot to set some keyframe here. So here I'm gonna actually do the opposite, -3 and 3. So as you can see, I have two keyframes here for swivel and tilt, and at the end as well I should have 2 keyframes as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select both of them at the beginning and I'm gonna do ease out, and same for the end, I'm gonna do ease in. So let's take a look at a project window here. So it swivels in. Perfect. So let's copy this one. Actually, I like to copy this one to every other image. So I'm gonna Control C. I'm gonna select this one, and I'm gonna Control V it. And then for the other one, I'm actually gonna copy as well here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna set it to 3 first, and then the -3, and then at the very end of the playhead here is gonna be -3 and 3. So it's the opposite of what the first image was. So it just kind of alternates every time, makes it a little bit less boring. So I'm gonna copy Basic 3D from the second image and copy it to the 4th image. Copy. I can move this one. There you go. So now if we take a look at the whole thing quickly, swivels in, very nice. Swivels in from another angle. Very nice, you get the idea. Perfect. So this is great. And then one last thing we can do is add some transitions between the images. That's up to you. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But if you want to add some transitions, I got a slide. I like the whip one. I like to add it here. Here. I like it to be like around half a second. So since this sequence is on a 30 frames per second basis, I'm gonna do 15 frames. So it's just half of a second. I'm gonna take this here, Control C, and I'm gonna select the between every single image here. So just hold Shift and select between every picture here, and do Control V. So now we have the transitions here. So great. Go back to the beginning. You can even add a little bit of music here, so that's up to you. Depends on what's your use case. I'm just gonna cut it here, like that. And there you go. I'm gonna actually reduce the sound here. This thing. Actually, I'm gonna render the sequence into out. So it might take a little while, and then we're gonna review what the whole thing looks like. Great, so now the effects are all rendered out. Let's take a look at what the final project looks like. So there you go, this is very easy, you get the point. You can put as many pictures as you want, and then you just copy all the effects to every pictures basically. So this is how you do it. Hope you enjoyed it. This is a really quick and easy tutorial, and I'll see you next time. One more thing before I forget, if you want to go to the next level and add a little bit of a touch here, you could also add some text. Maybe over the white frame here at the bottom, kind of like a Polaroid, you could add the date, you could add like a little signature. So you just have to add the text and make sure to not forget to add the transitions, the effects, especially the basic 3D to the text, so it fits with the whole slideshow. So there you go.